Okay, everybody, hello and welcome to the first live Monday night show that we're doing as an after-match reaction. Unfortunately, this was due to go out yesterday, 15 minutes after the game, but there was a tragedy in the local sports scene here where we're based, and an ex-teammate of mine, unfortunately, passed away after competing in a roller hockey game. So I have the team jersey up behind me here tonight for Jacob, who, just don't want to talk too much about it. Obviously, a very, very challenging time, but that's why we didn't go live yesterday and we're doing it tonight. So, just leave it like that and rest in peace, big man. So anyway, guys, listen. Now that I've got that out of the way, I had to say something. I'm here in the studio, as always, by my co-hosts, Gags, Madman, Martial, and Killian, the football genius. And we are here to talk about the three in a row, Manchester United, top four, Champions League, Michael Carrick's at the wheel. How are we feeling tonight, boys?
Yeah, Michael Carrick is most certainly at the wheel, and doing it in style as well, bringing entertainment to the masses. 2 weeks in a row, we've been 2-1 up in a game, and we've about 10 minutes to go or so. Well, actually, it was about 10 minutes to go in the Fulham game, but it was already in shoe time. We let an equaliser in, and we go straight back up the pitch, aka Fergie time, and get all 3 points. So 3 fantastic weeks, and it's great to see. And the momentum keeps going for Michael Carrick.
Killian, what are your thoughts on yesterday's game?
Brilliant win. Obviously wasn't the easiest. Fulham, I knew coming into the game would be a good side, and we actually, in the end, pretty lucky to even get the victory, of course, because Fulham to bring it back to 2-2. Obviously, we were a bit shaky there, and that sort of last bit of the match, but Fulham did also have a goal which was offside. Now, it was the right call to be offside, Jorge Cuenca's goal, but it was very marginal. Both from Chukwueze and Cuenca, both offside by like millimetres, really. So we were very close to being 3-2 down possibly, and we could have only got as good as a 3-3 draw there, which would have been detrimental for us really, especially considering the position we were in, 2-0 up, cruising with half an hour to go, but yeah, I mean, I didn't get to see a lot of the match. Well, I missed most of it, but I did get to see a good bit of it, of course. United.
Saw the second half.
That's such an Irish way to say that.
I didn't see hardly any of it, but I saw most of it. So yeah, you saw the second half.
Saw the, yeah. Well, no, I think you're right. There was definitely plenty of moments, plenty of. That's actually something I had on my list to talk about. There was plenty of VAR moments in yesterday's game. I have 3 down here. I have the first one there. Mbumo was taken down early in the game. There was nothing called on it. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, that's when Mbumo. It was a good ball in, and Mbumo he kind of miscontrolled it, and then your guy came in sort of into the back of him. Yeah, at the time I actually thought it wasn't like a small chance that it could have been given as a penalty, but these sort of decisions they're the sort of ones you don't want to be seen given. You want the game to play on. I don't think there was too many complaints from the United team.
Yeah,
I do know the one. To be honest, if Mbumo had controlled it better, it was going to be a great chance to score.
Again, I'm wondering, did they actually look at it? Because whenever I saw it back, I know Mbumo was claiming for it, and whenever I saw it back, it looked like the Fulham player actually did get the ball, but before he got the ball, it looked like his left foot tucked down, and most of the contact was before the guy got the ball. Yeah. And I think if you're, so that again, listen, that's VAR moments, and we don't want to get too far into that. But then looking at United giving a penalty, overruled by VAR again, I would think I would have to agree with that. The guy was a good tackle, on Cunha.
It was never a penalty.
It was never a penalty.
Yeah. But the strange thing was, I actually thought, I don't know why I thought this. I didn't think at the time that VAR could then retrospectively give a free kick. I thought it would be just a clean cut. Is it a penalty or is it not a penalty? But then, suppose when you think about it, if there's a decision right on the edge of the penalty box, and they go back and they see it's outside, they would usually give a free kick. So
Yeah.
at the time, I thought, oh, we're getting a free kick from that. I kind of thought it was a bit strange, just probably my own fault. And thank God, because we fully capitalised from that free kick.
My understand is that the referee said to VAR, or I think this is the VAR explanation, is that he had said that he was calling the penalty for the initial pull coming into the box, and it wasn't for the
Yeah,
tackle.
yeah.
Now, Fulham fans are saying, they don't really agree with that. They don't believe that. I think that's maybe where they could really improve the technology by letting us hear what they're talking about.
I'll be honest. I don't know what you've seen it back, haven't you? I think from looking at it, I would have thought the referee had given the penalty for the challenge in the box. I don't think he was giving it thinking that Cunha was being pulled.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah, and that's why I was surprised then when we got the free kick, because I kind of thought, well, it's clearly not a penalty. And then they've sort of gone back, but then the explanation was, oh, he's pulled his shirt, but it was outside the box. I don't think that I would definitely agree with Fulham fans. I don't think that's what the referee gave the penalty for. I don't think he thought, it was in the box.
And
for
then,
the shirt pull.
then the third then VAR issue was very much then with Fulham's disallowed goal. 2-0, and I mean, I think it's one of those ones, for me, it's one of those ones we've seen all the time where it's like, is the player, they said the player was offside, but I actually think it seemed to be more that he was in line. The guy who was offside was actually in the line of the ball with goalie as well.
You were talking about this yesterday, your thoughts, and I probably would agree with it, about the way you think the offsides should be.
Yeah, so no, I remember that now actually. Obviously, I just mentioned a few minutes ago, it was very marginal, and we were very lucky at how marginal it was as well. And it must have been gutting for Fulham, especially your guy Quensa. It was his first ever goal for Fulham, and the score at Old Trafford would have been brilliant, of course. But I'm happy enough. I think we're all happy enough it was disallowed anyway. But like I'm rethinking like the offside rule in general, and the original offside, the first offside from Samuel Chukwueze before Quensa was because of his arm being offside, and like I was just thinking to myself, like, okay, I'm happy he's offside, and I'm happy we didn't concede that, but you can't be surely if you can't score a goal with your arm, surely you shouldn't be allowed, or you shouldn't be able to be offside because of your arm. So I was reminded from what I seen a few years ago, actually, or a while ago anyway, and it was a proposal that Arsene Wenger actually made for the offside rule, and that was that he would have, instead of these marginal offsides, the player has to have his full body offside for it to be considered an offside. And I thought it was interesting, and I think definitely it would be good, like, of course, because I mean, it wouldn't punish players for just being 2 centimeters offside, and most offsides you do see are very slim, and they're very unlucky as well, and it's very hard for players to control that too. So I think it would definitely be brilliant. It would keep the game flowing, of course. It would keep the game entertaining. You'd always be on the edge of your seat. You wouldn't have these long delayed VARs looking for that 1 millimeter to make it offside or not as well. So I think it's definitely interesting, and I definitely would consider it. And I do think it could definitely be a better rule than what we've already got, of course.
I think it used to be back in the day. It was like what was it? It was like clear like daylight between players and stuff. I know that's very, but again,
I actually think a compromise from what you say, Killian. I think we need to get away from the fact that if somebody's fingernail or arm or armpit or nose is offside, then it's called offside. I think it should
with Luis Suarez.
But I think it has to be your feet or your legs, and again, not by millimeters. I wouldn't say the whole body,
If it was a
but I
full
would say if it's a full foot away or a full leg, not both, some sort of clear infringement, not millimeters, and definitely not your elbow or arm, your armpit or your nose or your hair. Do you know what I mean? And I think that'll help. That'll help VAR as well, because it's absolutely insane. And they took about 3 or 4 minutes trying to work it out.
Yeah.
And the whole atmosphere of the crowd, well, of course, that was a Fulham goal, so it didn't kill the atmosphere.
Yeah.
It gave us hope.
Yeah,
But,
it did remind me as well. Don't ask how I remember this. I don't even know how to, but It reminded me of a photo I seen from 2018 United against Huddersfield, and it was Alexis
Yeah.
Sanchez
Oh.
scored a goal. And I forget if he actually was ruled offside or it was counted, but I remember seeing the photo of the lines being drawn, and like they were not straight whatsoever. And
I know.
I know the technology's a lot better now, 6 or 7 or 8 years down the line, of course. But you know, it would definitely make VAR's job a little easier too, and there would be less interference from VAR as well in the match, and that would bring back more of a natural sort of feel about football too. So I think definitely, even your compromise where the player has to have a full leg or a full foot offside to be considered offside, I think that definitely is
Plus,
something to go for.
it brings it back. It brings it back to give. It's given the attackers or the attacking team a bit of a benefit of the doubt. It's going to create more goals in the game. There's more excitement. To me, it's a no-brainer.
Well, I'm conscious there that we've spent a lot of time talking about VAR, and I suppose that's really what the Fulham fans, from what I was watching today, Fulham fans were very much talking a lot about that. But let's get into the good stuff, right? And I don't know, I have to point this out now because I know I've been wanting to talk about this. So we normally will invite a fan on from the other team, and last week we tried to make it work with Fulhamish TV, and it wasn't able to work out, but they asked me would I go on their show, and it did. And let's to say I got a bit of hate from the Fulham fans is a bit of an understatement, but actually, I've got a couple of quotes from it, So in hindsight, now in fairness, in hindsight, maybe they had it maybe they thought I was a wee bit too optimistic, but I've never been called a geezer in my life before, and this was probably my favourite quote. So this geezer is far too confident. After 2 games, they can win the league and World Cup all of a sudden. But
little did he know that was a compliment. Nick calling you after geezer, anybody from Armagh know that. Thank you very much for the Fulham. If you're from London or wherever you're from, you actually give him a compliment there.
Yeah, and then my second favourite one was get this bloke back on next week after we do a number on these lot. Hopefully, this is what the players think too. And then finally, this one was the best one because it really made me big up my ego when it said I hope Marco shows this to the players before the game pre-match to get them excited. I was delighted with that one. But listen, I mean, I know I went out, like, again, I love going on those shows and things like that there, but I would like to take this opportunity to apologise to absolutely none of the Fulham fans because Manchester United are back. We are back. And I know I'm quoting Conor McGregor, but we are back. And I have to say, my prediction was not far off. I just told them that, we were on a momentum swing. I told them what Cunha would score, Shesko would score, and I said Bruno would score, but Casemiro was the other one. But Bruno was so instrumental in those 2 games. So those guys thought that I didn't have much of a clue. And in fairness, I didn't have any clue about Fulham, but I'm not here to be a Fulham fan. We're Manchester United fans and we'll do whatever we want. Isn't that right?
That's it. I do know Fulham. I do know your players. So this is the message for you Fulham fans. I fully believe we had beat you at Old Trafford, and beat you we did. So that's just the way it is. And Harry Wilson got nothing from us. So he's had a great season and he's a great player.
Well, I hate to dampen the mood a bit, but we're talking about confidence, especially considering we were minutes away from dropping points in that game.
I was never in doubt.
I mean, it was all part of the plan.
Never in doubt.
But I'll give Fulham fair play. I mean, they came back into the game. I think Cavan was very good. That goal was just brilliant. And you can talk about poor defending, but actually, an interesting point I have got in that Fulham goal. It was a screamer, of course, too. I mean, you can't blame the goalkeeper, but defensively a bit poor. But I've seen a highlight reel from loads of games this season, and the amount of times you've conceded that sort of goal, edge of the box, the winger cuts inside, curls it in. Morgan Rogers did it. I've seen a couple other. I think maybe against Bournemouth it happened as well. Dewsbury Hall for Everton did it as well. It's happened to us so many times this season, that goal, and for me that is worrying still as well. That we're conceding that type of goal so many times. That screamer into the top corner.
It was a
from the
screamer, like it
exact
was.
same position.
Killian, I think it turned around to you during the latter parts of the game, and I told you, as I did say to you at the time, it's like, you remember I said this to you. I think it was 2-1 at the time. I was raging at the way we were playing because we had a good game, and I just saw us for the last 15 minutes or so. We were dropping. All of a sudden, we were dropping off, and we were allowing Fulham to come on us. The best form of defence is attack, and we've been playing so well, and we deliberately dropped off. And I said to you, we're going to let a goal in here. I said we're going to drop points. They're going to equalise. And remember this, because we are bringing it on ourselves. And then bang, the Kevin. But do you know something? It was a great finish. And you need a goal. What I will say, actually, another bugbear of mine, and it's not just this game. I've noticed it creeping in to world football. I don't care what you say. Raul Jimenez stopped at least twice on that run up.
Yeah.
And that is not in the rules. You're not allowed to stop. No. People used to faint with slight forward momentum. In his last two, there is forward momentum. The first two times he stops. That should be disqualified. I don't like it. It's you know something? It's like creeping in. It's like this messing about at corner flags, putting it out. You know, it's sort of over the line. Do you know, now we're stopping on the run ups to the penalties. So I'm not having it. Not having it. Jimenez.
I know I was saying Fulham are very close to taking points off us, but at the same time, you know, if the rules were actually implemented correctly and Jimenez was penalised for those stops in the penalty run up, which shouldn't be allowed, and that penalty wouldn't have counted. And then if Benjamin Šeško had finished his dinner with that header when it was hit the post, it would have finished 4-1. So we actually shouldn't have been too far off your big 100-1 prediction as well. So
no, it wasn't his. Sorry,
yeah, it was Mystic Mac.
Mystic McDonough.
Yeah.
Plus, I've had to remortgage my house because I had the money all in 4-1.
Well, I thought this might come up, so I looked it up. The rule. What is the actual rule on penalty kicks? So the exact wording is, so the laws of the game written by the IFAB. So these are the laws exactly as written. You may slow down or hesitate during the run up.
You need forward momentum.
You may not stop once the kicking motion is completed.
Yeah.
You may not stop once the kicking motion is completed.
No. You're not allowed to stop and run up.
I watched it very carefully back to see
the first two times he stops.
So what he does, right? So the first time he goes, he's keeping his feet moving, right?
But he's not moving forward.
But it doesn't say that in the rule. So I wonder, is that a tweak? Because it just says may not stop. So I'm wondering if that's a little tweak, because he did keep his feet moving, but he wasn't moving forward.
Don't accept
you know.
But
yeah. So, but anyway, he took it really well, and I think I heard there today that he's I think he's now the all-time. He's some record in the Premier League for the most consecutive amount of penalties scored. I think he's 12 penalties in a row. So I mean, it was good penalty.
He's no Dennis Irwin. That's all I'll say.
Dennis Irwin could take a penalty back in the day. He could take it. Yeah.
Do you know something? I know I'm going off on a tangent here. About 2 years ago, there was a Man United kind of Legends tour or game in Maynooth.
Oh, yeah.
In Maynooth.
No, it was longer than 2. It was 4 years ago.
It was 4 years ago, and there was a whole rake of players. Keith Gillespie. Was Keith Gillespie there? No.
Keith Gillespie.
Yeah, and Dennis Irwin.
Brian McClure.
Chalky, and
Chris Eagles.
So I had been telling the boys about Dennis Irwin. Dennis Irwin, brilliant. And it's like, not only that, not only was he a brilliant player, he took our penalties. He never missed a penalty. He was fantastic. What happened? We were behind the goal. Second half, the Man United team got a penalty. And it was like, they give it to Dennis Irwin. And I was sitting there going, guys, will you see this? Will you see this? Fucking missed it. He couldn't write it.
We're live.
Was that the one when he hit it over the bar?
I don't know what he did. It didn't go in the net. I can't remember.
I remember. I think I remember a penalty down at the other end now. and it was
no,
a keeper save.
yeah, no,
But no, that
then,
was a brilliant day overall.
Yeah, I wonder they come across. I think there's a.
It was Sippy had organised it.
I think there's. No, I think I'm actually the Cult of Canton for a webcast. I think they've got some kind of an event happening in the next few months.
Yeah,
I
but
don't think it's a game though. I think it's like a Brian Robson or something's coming over. I think it's like a talk or something.
Okay.
there's a lot those sorts of players like Keith Gillespie, Brian McClure, Dennis Urban, Chris Eagles, Wes Brown.
Chris Eagles loves it.
Wes Brown didn't play, but he was there, and they got a photo with all those players, of course,
Yeah,
which is brilliant. But those sorts of players, they seem to always be in Ireland, whether it be Maynooth, could be. I think they've been in Belfast, Cork, Longford as well.
They love it.
Dublin.
They
Love for the
They
Irish.
fucking love it.
Down the west as well. They've been all over the place.
We've got a couple of comments here. DT Max, don't worry, be happy. 13 years of hurt. Carrick has us dreaming. And big shout out there to Nicholas Boyle, who I see's talking all the way over in US of A. Nicholas is a former teammate of mine as well, actually. So the lads are definitely playing with heart and belief now, but they need to play a full 90 minutes, which is a mental holdover from the previous management team. What's the thoughts on that, boys? Would you agree with Nicholas there?
What's he saying?
He's saying there that about trying to that we need to keep that belief for the whole 90 minutes. I think he's kind of talking about what you talked about Gags, about like sitting back and allowing then Fulham to come on.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that, Killian? Do you think?
Well, I think Carrick. I think if Carrick says the team, instead of dropping back, keep attacking, they would keep attacking, like especially under him. But it's hard. It's hard to know. I would agree with it probably.
Do you know something? But do you know something? All things work out for the best, and very much so. The way it worked out was brilliant, because I think this game is massive for
It's
Shesko.
big,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's
yeah.
big for the whole team.
Yeah.
But
they've
for
got a victory.
Shesko to
Yeah.
get the winner in the
Oh.
94th minute into the top bins, you could see what it meant to him. Like, do you know what I mean? The new buzz
Especially
cuts.
after that miss earlier on. And
Exactly,
he thought,
and then and that would have 3-0, and because that would have played, and people probably would have started talking about, Jesus, we
Well,
probably should have finished it. Like,
that's exactly what I had said on the Fulhamish podcast. One of my predictions, and I had said that I thought he was going to score 2 goals. Now he should have scored 2 goals,
yeah.
but it's again, you can just see it, and when a striker gets a goal, you can just see it, and he just looks freer. Even that goal, that's his first touch of the ball that hits the post, and he just has a bit of more of an arrogance about him and a swagger. And but here, listen, I've got a list here of key moments in the game, so let's kind of go through them a wee bit here. So first key moment, obviously Casemiro scores from Bruno free kick, beautiful.
Casemiro, the Casemiro farewell tour is well up and running.
Yeah.
Do you know something? The cross was decent. It's nothing special. It was the header. It was special.
Oh, it was a sick pass. It was.
It was just look. It wasn't. Look,
They're being a bit harsh.
No, I'm not being harsh. It was a good pass, but it was a dead ball. He just kind of clipped it in. Casemiro's heading ability is unbelievable. He just leaps up. He's up so early, and it's just like a rocket into thing. You know something? Do you know something? Everyone loves Casemiro. You know something? And he had a second season. He was poor, right? And that owl Scouser, right? A Scouser called him out,
Carrick.
right? Carragher,
Yeah.
right? Called him out live on TV.
Leave the football.
Before the football leaves you. Right. Funny enough, that's what Jimmy Carragher said, and I know he's apologised this week, a couple of years later. He also said,
Did you see that?
I didn't know.
He said, I think it was Avni Alstead, but I think it was something along the lines of, I think it's safe to say the football has definitely not left him.
right?
Fair play.
So-
fair play.
No, fair play.
Yeah,
no,
fair play.
No, right? Leave football before football leaves you. He also, when we got him, and has consistently slagged Martinez, Lisandro Martinez, Licha, the butcher, okay? The butcher the last few games has been immense. He was immense this game. So do you know something, Jimmy Carragher? How about you leave football commentary before football commentary leaves you, you Scouser? Do you know what I mean? So fantastic. Casemiro was unbelievable. And there was a number, I know you want to go through things, but Martinez, the way Martinez finished that game the last 10 minutes was inspirational.
Well, Casemiro comes up in the second thing was our second goal. Cunha, the the no luck pass from Casemiro was
Brilliant.
just class. Like I just I was just like, I actually didn't notice it in real time, and then when I saw the highlights, I was like, did he actually just do that? Like it was just, he sold it so well, and then finish
And then
Acuna
finish.
in front of the Stratford end.
Made in Brazil.
Beautiful,
Made in Brazil.
just a beautiful. That's why we want to see at Old Trafford. Like,
Yeah.
So then, what else have we got there? Fulham goal disallowed. Hey, Maguire gives away a penalty. Are we happy enough with the penalty? Did we think it was a penalty?
I thought it was a penalty, and I'm happy enough for Maguire. He had to go for it. He had to lunge in. Some people are saying maybe, I think I'd read somewhere people saying that maybe Maguire had let his man go, but look, it was a last ditch tackle, and look, that's what happens.
Yeah.
So look, I wouldn't criticise Maguire, and yeah, it's just one of those things. Fulham are a decent team. You've got to remember.
Yeah.
They were only 4 points behind us. They are a well-run team.
Yeah, they are
a good team.
No, in fairness, in fairness, like I was on that show, but what I had said in that show of the Fulham fans was, I haven't seen your team play all season, and that was the truth. I haven't seen them play. I was impressed with him. He has them playing well, but do you know what it was? It's like, it's just that there was that little bit of confidence in me that made me think. Do you remember? Teams outside of the top six shouldn't be coming to Old Trafford expecting that they're going to win or get points, and that's what it's been called over the last 7 8 years. And I think that was just a bit of overconfidence in me. Fulham were very, very good. They're well organised. Your guy, whether he stopped on the penalty or not, it was a great penalty. I've never seen a goalie smile and hug a forward.
Yeah, no,
what
I
was
didn't
that
like
about?
that. I didn't like that. Look, I'm going to talk about Le Mans, but I didn't like that.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? What's the smile and, well done. I didn't like that.
Yeah, it was a bit cat and mouse. Like,
but what I will say about Le Mans, I thought he had a great game. He made 2 or 3 fantastic saves. I thought he had a great game. Give him a good, solid 8 out of 10. Couldn't do anything with both goals. So
yeah.
But the only criticism is that we smile and we hugged Raul. I mean, should have been kneeing him in the.
How big a factor was it, do you think, that Casemiro going off?
Massive.
Big.
Massive. And do you know something? Look, I think I do have a tendency to try to back players as long as I can. So I have backed Ugarte. I back him, right? And I'm not saying it's because, but Ugarte came on, Casemiro came off, and it could be other things too. But I was at that moment we started kind of looking more vulnerable, and that's whenever we started almost like sitting back. We really missed him big time. What minute he came off? 70.
Yeah, it wasn't straight away.
I know he was on a yellow card and things, but I thought his yellow was very harsh, very harsh.
I didn't actually see his yellow card.
But then the refs just love booking Casemiro. That's the reality.
Yeah.
Look, it's just fantastic. We got the win because we're 3 wins on the bounce. Bring it on. Šeško. I was looking up actually. Šeško, in his last appearances, right, he has scored 5 goals in 272 minutes. So that's 2.5 games.
Yeah.
So he's got 5 goals, and I think that is significant.
Yeah.
Because the guy and his last couple he scored from being on the bench. And you can sense these players aren't. There's nobody sulking.
No.
People who are on the bench. Cunha came on last week, scored the decisive goal. This week, Šeško comes on, scores the decisive goal. It's very promising.
One thing I did notice actually in the bench was when Šeško scored the winner, Casemiro and Cunha, they did hug each other, but neither of them really looked necessarily happy.
They're probably expecting us to go and leak another goal.
No,
they don't want to get too excited.
Because both of them came off and we started to drop off.
Yeah,
so, you can't understand it, but there was definitely relief that we got the goal, of course, there too.
It was fair play to like Fulham fella. It was a screamer. The second goal, there's nothing anybody's doing anything about that. It was a screamer.
Yeah, and I couldn't understand. And again, you haven't watched any Fulham. I haven't watched that much Fulham. But I remember seeing Kevin earlier in the year, and he scored a screamer. Was it in the cup? I know. It was in the cup, and he scored a screamer in that, and he looked amazing, right? I've seen him in a few league games, and I couldn't understand. I said, why? If there was Fulham fans watching or something, why is he not starting for you guys? Why was he on the bench?
Well, it is important to note as well that was his first Premier League goal, so maybe he'll struggle for him a bit, but I don't doubt he's a quality player. I mean, anytime you get a Brazilian from Shakhtar Donetsk, you know they're going to be a baller, like we had with Fred, of course.
Fred, I was going to say.
Bring back McFred. Well, in fairness, like, I did listen to the Fulham after show today because, so I had a little bit of insight into Fulham.
So why not? They're your mates.
Yeah, I know. And can't even remember what I was going with that. What was like? I have no idea.
We're talking about Kevin and Kevin's school.
Oh, they were talking about that, and they were saying about how, thank you. They were saying about how he had started the season with so much potential and stuff, and I think he just hadn't got his goal. Or and maybe it's a wee bit like Sesko. Maybe you might see him starting to come out, like, because when you score a goal like that, your confidence is going to go up. Like, so hopefully, we don't have to. Do we? Do we play them away? Or have we already played them twice this year?
That's our second time.
We played them. Okay, so hopefully we don't have to worry about him then. We won't, because we're not going to meet them in any cups.
We're definitely not. Yeah, and you're probably going to talk about it. I'm sure I'm probably jumping the gun here. But what's the thoughts on? We're now. What time is it?
You're jumping ahead of me.
Yeah. Okay,
one more thing I want to say. What were your thoughts whenever that second goal went in?
Conyers?
No.
Well,
when they equalised it.
Well, I know his thoughts. They were one of absolute rage.
A few expletives, was there?
I was just when I seen the goal. I mean, anytime you can see a goal like that, regardless of the circumstances, my first instinct is to just appreciate the goal for what it was, and it was a screamer, and I appreciated it, but it was frustrating as well to see, and have to say, of course, conceding an equaliser in injury time is always going to be frustrating, especially, with how big the game is, how good we were during the match as well, but yeah, I was more so stunned, really, of course, but then again, I could see a Fulham equaliser coming, but stunned in the way it did come. So yeah, mixed feelings there, but overall frustrated. But thankfully, we managed to get the winner eventually.
I tell you what my thoughts were, because at that exact moment in time, I was creating, because we had it set up that we were going to do this live show at 4:00, and I was just creating the caption to announce that we were going to have to change the time. We weren't going to go live. And I was thinking to myself, I'm so glad United are winning this game, because if I was putting this up now and we weren't winning the game, and then I would have all the Fulham fans coming on saying, you weren't going live because you aren't winning. Blah, blah. And then I said, just before I put it up, they scored, and I was like, oh no. But then as I kept on working on it, and I was just like, I just turned to Haley, and she was my daughter, and she was just like, oh, it's not good, Daddy. And I was like, listen, it's not over. It's not over. And I felt that I don't think I expected, as quickly, but, Bruno, with touch of class with that, the ball, just letting the ball go through his legs, through into Sesko, and he took his goal so well.
I thought he was about to get fouled there, Bruno, in the build up as well. Bassi was all over him. I did envision, actually, when Bruno was on that run, Bassi sort of tugging at him, Bruno stopping sort of, and then he would have got a free for that too. But no, thankfully this time Bruno actually did carry on, got the cross in, and the rest was history, of course, with Benjamin Sesko's winner. I thought Benjamin Sesko's winner was actually very, very reflective and very similar to that famous Makeda goal against Aston Villa many years ago. But I would like to think Sesko will end up with a better career at United than Makeda as well. But it was very similar anyway.
I noticed David from the Facebook group had said, "Hey lads," on the comments. David, if you're still watching, correct me if I'm wrong. Did you say you were at the Fulham game? You were going over to that? If you did, let us know. What's your thoughts? I'm sure it was special ending.
Yeah. Well, I wonder. Yeah. Well, actually, I wonder. He had said he was going over to it. I have a question for you now. There was meant to be a protest before the match.
I seen videos of it.
There was a protest before the match. Did you see much though?
One thing I did see, actually, Megastore shut.
Oh,
it did. Yeah, I seen a video of that earlier.
Well, like for a short period or something?
Well, whenever the protest was, there was huge numbers. There was green and yellow flares everywhere. the protesters came out in their thousands, like, and they marched down Matt Busby Way, and there hasn't been much media coverage, but I've seen a few clips that just throughout the day today.
That is interesting because
But
if the Megastore was
one of the
closed,
clips was Megastore closing. Now I don't know what time this was at. I don't know if it was near kickoff or anything, but it did close, which is the big thing.
Word is spreading from our podcast to the faithful.
Somebody's been reading fake news, because it's either you or me, because I have it note down here that they were expecting thousands, but the report I read that only 500 or 600 turned up. So one of us has read fake news. Anybody in the chat room who maybe was at the game.
Well, there's the local paper, or one of the papers. Thousands of Man United fans wearing clown masks protest against Glazers and Ratcliffe ownership. So there you go. Thousands.
Isn't that mad? Like, because I literally read an article about half an hour before we came on. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was. I think it was like I actually thought it was Manchester Evening News or something.
Well,
so maybe. But it said, and the actual quote was, only 500 or 600 turned out in what was a loud and colourful.
Yeah, well, it definitely looked loud and it definitely looked colourful as well. But no, I just looked at the clip there again. I seen it on TikTok actually, and I was thinking maybe someone uploaded it. It was an older clip. No, you always change the picture every few weeks outside Old Trafford.
Yeah,
and it was of Cunha and other players wearing the new Stone Roses merch. So and the Megastore, all the shutters were down and all the protesters were outside, of course, with their colours, with their noise, with their banners and signs as well. So, nope, Megastore looked to have been shut because of the protest.
Right. Well, that's interesting.
There we go. Look, I've got a picture. We could pull up. The Megastore was closed as protesters arrived. That's what we're talking about, people. That's what we predict these things.
But you know what's big there, actually? It shows that the Megastore wasn't forcefully shut by protesters.
They shut it for a safety thing.
They shut it for safety because they knew the protesters were coming.
Mm-hmm.
And that is big, because now that makes it easier, because the protesters just have to turn up, albeit in big numbers, big enough, similar to that every game at Old Trafford now for the rest of the season, and maybe beyond that too. If they can show up consistently with those similar numbers and do that protest before every home match, the Megastore was shut.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean, for the game or just for forever?
Well,
just for that, yeah.
Not forever.
I'm looking
on match day is the busiest time of every second week at Old Trafford, so that's massive. It's absolutely massive, and it definitely shows that it's easier now to close a Megastore by turning up in those numbers, and it means we can make a more effective campaign against the Glazers.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look up here as we're talking the 1958 group that organised that campaign to see what they've put out. Just trying to see if they have any, because I think the guys had said they were planning to have this at every single home game for the rest of the season. But maybe look into that in a wee bit more detail, because it's hard to be doing it when we're talking live.
Of course, all the rival fans in the comments don't understand it, and they're just saying, "Oh, why are you protesting? You're fourth in the league, and all the North scarves are out and stuff." But they just don't get it.
Yeah, well, funny. I was watching on YouTube earlier. Our mate Harry Scarf from remember the Spurs fan. He has a live show on today tracking any signings coming through. Gags, have you any updates for us there? He asked me earlier on, did I think United were going to sign anything, and my reaction to him was no. Three wins in a row. The Glazers are more likely now to take a dividend than sign a player.
Yeah, and this is where the club, again, this is why protests would be tripled in our next game. I don't care. We won 3 games in a row. We needed something. We needed a midfielder. If something happens Casemiro, God forbid something happens Casemiro, that can have a massive effect on our chances of getting into the Champions League. But you know something? Nothing from the club.
On the topic here of deadline day, there was a big name who made a move, albeit it was from a Saudi club to another Saudi club. But that player is Karim Benzema. And, I know we've got Shashko, but after Shashko...
No. We needed a midfielder.
But,
More than anything, we needed a midfielder.
If you got him for 6 months and Shashko could learn under a Ballon d'Or winner...
No, I don't want him. How
No,
old is he now?
I wouldn't have.
Well, you don't have to worry about him anyway.
But I wouldn't have taken him.
No.
I would have taken him 3 or 4 years ago. I wouldn't have taken him now.
Especially now that Chesko's got a wee bit of confidence. Like
that would be a terrible thing to do for Chesko.
Yeah.
Well,
suddenly, we've got somebody else in who may or may not be benching you again.
Well, I'm not saying you're wrong, but all it says...
I'm right.
All it says, were you not of the same belief a few years ago when we signed Cavani? We shouldn't have signed him.
Give it.
Yeah, but Cavani.
And look at that turned out.
It's funny you should say that.
You weren't Cavani in the back.
But I did see another interesting one. Spurs saying 18-year-old striker James Wilson. Remember, we had a striker, James Wilson.
Aye. Is he a Scottish striker? Is
He's
that
Scottish, yeah.
18-year-old, but sure.
No, but look, coming back to United, we needed a midfielder. If something happens to Casemiro, we're gonna struggle. We're gonna struggle. We needed something. And it would have been a cheap loan deal, but there's something else to have on the bench. And I feel they've done the dirty on Carrick. Carrick obviously did want somebody, because in the previous press conferences when he was asked about it, he says, you never say never, you never say never.
Yeah.
Right? So
There you
obviously
go,
he was trying to stay coy on it. Nothing.
There's still talk about N'Golo Kante being in the move. But he would have been a good player.
But sir, yeah,
Well,
we haven't gone
Exactly.
for anybody.
Do you remember
So-
I said a couple of weeks ago on this here, when they were talking about this mystery player that Manchester United are interested in, it was all spin,
Bullshit. And
and,
Ben Jacobs,
just,
forget about it. Ben Jacobs, I've got a mystery player, never been released. United stand around if it and attract their views. We can't say. Look, I don't care. They're as big a part of the spin now as a journalist on the club. If you're going to talk about something, talk about it. Stop feeding in to the spin. You're part of the problem now.
All it says too as well, we've seen there too go with certain Angel Gomez was in the move back to the Premier League.
saw that, yeah.
I always liked him. I thought he showed promise, and he was independent. He's like, I'm not hanging about here. I want to play.
Yeah, but there was
He's
something,
small.
I can't remember exactly what it was. There was something about that at the time. He was coming across as if very demanding, like as if he had made it and he should be playing. And there was something about that, I wasn't too sorry to see him go at that stage. But has he actually come back to the Premier League? I saw that was
Wolves, you say?
Yeah, Wolves.
And is he permanent signing, or is that
Only
just
on loan?
is he on
But
loan?
even if we brought him back on loan,
Yeah.
Do you know something? Even if
just
do you know-
provide some cover.
but to me, do you know something? Do you know who I noticed? And I actually noticed again, Fulham fans, anybody watching, I noticed in their team, and I saw him at the start of the game, and I was like, jeepers.
Sanderberg.
I didn't know he was so big. Sanderberg. Now we were linked with him before he went to who?
Sheffield
United. And I watched him, and he was apparent in the game. I thought he played well, and he's a big unit. I did like him. I thought he was a good player, Sanderberg.
We've got a comment in here from Peter O'Sullivan. Peter's saying, boys need a midfielder, someone that is capable of improving our midfield to push us on in Europe. What time does the deadline close?
It's close.
Must be-
Oh, it's
Close at
closed,
7
is it?
o'clock, which is another thing that's annoyed me today. Who decided to close the window at 7 o'clock? I mean, have they ever heard of theatre? It used to be midnight,
I know.
and then it was 11, so it was bad enough 11. 7 o'clock? You're barely home from work, and you're like, oh, we're going to sign anybody? No, mate, sorry, window's closed. So,
Yeah.
no, correct me if I'm wrong, could we still sign somebody who's out of contract? Free agents?
Not until, we could technically do it right now, but we wouldn't have them until the summer.
All right, okay.
Wharton and Anderson possible another right back. Dello isn't good enough. Peter Sullivan saying.
Well, that's for the summer.
Yeah, well, I think we've talked about that with
Yeah.
Adam
Dello
Morton,
and
Adam Morton or Elliot Anderson. I don't think I think Elliot Anderson's going to be picked up by Chelsea or somebody. Or
Well, we
Adam
may as well
Morton-
go in for him.
What?
We may as well go in for him anyway.
You take Wharton, Palace are in a bit of turmoil.
Yeah.
Although they've been the ones who've been most active today. They've got your guy McNeil from Everton.
It's
and
strange
they've
that
got,
because they seem to be in need of like a
Strand
center.
Larson.
Seem to be in need of a centre back and a midfielder, and they've gone out there and signed about 4 or 5 attackers in this transfer window. So they're absolutely stacked with attackers, but they're still very slim with defenders, midfielders. But no, listen, Adam Morton, 100% for me, and Ali Anderson too. I'd go in for both of them. I'd prefer Adam Morton because I think he's more of a complete all-around player too. But I'd still be happy with Ali Anderson. Like, I would still take Ali Anderson any day of the week.
Nicholas Boyle saying, would the club stomach the salary of Adam Morton? See, I don't think Morton would be on massive money at Palace.
I don't think he would demand 300k.
No,
put it that way.
Yeah, I think
he's a humble player.
Yeah,
of course
he's
he would
want
want
a 50, 60, 70 grand.
Of course he would want a big enough wage because of the quality player he is. But he wouldn't be saying, "Give me 300k or I'm not coming."
Yeah.
How many big time salaries do we have now? I know Casemiro's going in the summer. I know that this has been the thing that they've been trying to weed these out. Now we've got Rashford who's still technically come back.
Sancho, is he still in the big wage?
Like Casemiro's on a lot. He's Casemiro
400,000.
He's on it's down as 350, right? But I think we might be paying him less because we're not in Champions League. But it's down as 350 plus £100,000 a week bonus. Now I don't know.
But a good bonus.
I'm pretty sure a no look pass assist might qualify for £100,000 bonus
and a goal too.
That's probably why he did.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm going to get £100,000.
Let's not forget he scored a goal as well.
I know.
He's an interesting one. Like, is he? Because what strikes me a wee bit about that is like he had really been starting to play well before he announced that he was leaving in the summer. But a bit like Maguire losing the captaincy. Something off his shoulders. Maybe
he's having a good year.
He's
a World Cup year.
It's a World Cup year. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Although Brazil aren't necessarily at the greatest position, so he might have even got in anyway. But
so according to Capology, Casemiro 350. This is basic salary 350k. Bruno's 300, and then you're down to Delit at 195. The missing man.
I mean,
and Harry Maguire 190k.
Is Maguire up this summer as well?
Yeah.
I would
keep him for another year.
Him, and I think he would. I think he'd be happy enough to reduce his wage a bit as well. Stay.
Yeah, I think he would too.
Yeah, I think he'd do it.
And do you know something? Yeah, I think.
Based on nothing, like absolutely. Why would he? Why should he? Why should he?
He's a good lad.
You're playing really well. We think that you're too old now, but you wouldn't mind taking a pay cut. Sure, you wouldn't.
Well, actually, I think the United don't have a contract extension option.
I'm sure we do.
So that means you wouldn't be renegotiating contract.
No.
You'd just be adding a year.
Well, I think
he also wouldn't be reducing. You take 25 grand a week, won't you? You're a good lad. You're a good lad.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
But yeah, I feel, getting back to the transfer deadline, I feel the club, I feel the hierarchy, the club have let Carrick down. And I think we all knew it was going to happen, but I think we needed to get somebody in. Do you know what I mean? Even like a Donny van de Beek. I meant to look up to see where he was. Bring back
Donny.
I think
maybe even Tony Marshall.
No, don't start.
I hear Dak loves Anthony Marshall.
Yeah. Well, we definitely have to have a wee conversation with. Have to have a wee conversation with Dak about Anthony Marshall the next time he's on.
Yeah. We tried to get Dak on tonight, but he's at the dogs apparently. He's a madman. That's But right. Well, listen, guys. I've got through what. Listen, have we got through all the comments? Are people? I'm just checking here. Don't want to miss anybody out. No, I think we've covered all the stuff that's been said. I had planned here for this to be just the hour because we're actually we're going to do, I think we're going to have a Spurs pre-game show, record it now after this, and we'll get it out Thursday or so. Anything you want to finish up with, lads, before we finish there tonight?
2 more games to go. And I can already hear the razors in the background. I can already hear the snipping of scissors creeping over the hills.
Yeah, we'll have to get past Spurs now. Spurs came back well.
Yeah.
City are in turmoil. But I think we can do them. It's Spurs, lads.
Spurs, lads.
Spurs.
Well, listen, don't give too much away now because we're going to, like I said, we're going to record a Spurs podcast here tonight. We'll put it out there on Thursday, and in the run up to that, and obviously the Munich Memorial this Friday.
Oh yeah, big one.
You know, so but yeah, listen, thank you. This is our first attempt. First of all, thank you to everybody who followed us on Facebook, because obviously we've been doing this now for a few months, and on YouTube, but if we suddenly realized that we could actually stream live direct onto Facebook, and we need to get those 100 likes, so our 100 followers, and put those feelers out there last week, and appreciate everybody helping us out and getting us on. So yeah, guys, listen, we
3 words to finish off. We're actually 4. We are back, baby.
Yeah,
we are
absolutely back. 3 in a row, and yeah, 3 in a row. It feels good. Top 4.
Go on, Michael.
Yeah, what are we currently on?
We're 1 point off our total points from last year.
That's crazy. What have we got? 14 games left?
Look, we are probably safe from relegation. We're over the 40-point mark.
Well,
so
interesting
to
bring that up. Wolves lost the home to Bournemouth, and now they're officially out of the title race. Did you know?
All right. Wolves are out of the title race.
Peter O'Sullivan, we will bat their Spurs. Come on, United. Well done, boys. Thank you, Peter.
Yeah,
thank you to everybody who got involved there tonight. And yeah, this is the first one we'll do live. We'd definitely like to get more people involved in the future. And if any of the boys there that have been posting up want to come on the show the next time,
that's a simple process.
It's a very simple process. Send us your message, and we just send you an email. You'll get a code, a link, and then just come on your phone and have your say. So if you're interested in that, please do reach out to us, because we'd love to hear more from United fans wherever you are. All right, boys, we'll finish there on this episode. And so, like I said, let's keep this track running down the road to Champions League football.
Cheers, lads.
All right, come on, United. Woo!